friend we have in Jesus, all our sins and griefs to bear. And what a privilege to carry everything to God in prayer. And oh, what peace we often forfeit. Oh, what needless pain we bear. And all because we do not carry everything to God in prayer. Have we trials and temptations? Is there trouble anywhere? We should never be discouraged. Take it to the Lord in prayer. Can we find a friend so faithful who will all our sorrows share? And Jesus knows our every weakness. Take it to the Lord in prayer. And are we weak and heavy laden, cumbered with a load of care, and precious Savior still our refuge, take it to the Lord in prayer. Do thy friends despise, forsake thee? Take it to the Lord in prayer. In his arms he'll take and shield thee. Thou wilt find a solace there. All right, welcome back to our channel. Our handle is @WestoverMusic. And this song today is called What a Friend We Have in Jesus, a favorite of many. I'm sure you've heard it before. I'm going to start out with some of the basics here about the music theory. This is just need-to-know information. I've limited it to just a few things. First of all, we need to know the key signature. We're on the treble clef, which is the guitar clef. And this symbol right here, this one flat symbol, means you're in the key of F. I would just memorize that, the key of F. In order to play in the key of F on your guitar, you want to put your capo on the 3rd fret. If you don't have a capo, I recommend this Kaiser capo. I know if I have any bluegrass pickers out there, you would probably say something else, maybe a shub or something else. But just for a beginner, I'd recommend this one here. And by the way, when you put it on, a good idea is to push your strings down like that with one hand, and then to put it on your fret, this time the 3rd fret, right behind the fret wire. So these here are fret wires going vertical. And try to put it right behind there, and then test it out, because oftentimes it'll throw some of your strings out of tune. It might throw the low string out of tune. It'll actually go up in pitch, and you just want to check it and check the first chord that you're going to use on your song, your home chord. In this case, it's the D chord. We're using the D family, which is D and G, and then A and D for the most part. Just those three chords. So you can do a lot with 3 chords in the truth. You want to check that and then make any adjustments after you put on your capo, and that's just sort of what guitar players live with. So if you put it on the 3rd fret and you use your D chord, you're now playing in the key of F. This note right here is the D note, or is the F note rather. So is that one right there. So that's actually an F chord right there, the way that it sounds to the ear. So, and then this here would be B flat, and this would be C. even though they're the D shape, the G shape, and the A shape. But for the rest of the video, I'll just say D chord, G chord, A chord. That's a whole lot easier, by the way, if you're unfamiliar with the guitar, or if you're just getting started, to play a B flat's down here, and it's a bar chord. So for beginners, that F chord, it sounds beautiful. It's a great deep sounding chord, and I can play it there, but you can play it right there, you can play a B flat right here. But in order to get that sound of those cowboy chords, and just for ease of use, and just to make you as comfortable as possible so everyone else will be comfortable while they're singing along with you, just use your capo, use the D chord. And then now I want you to notice the time signature is 4/4. The only number that we are concerned with is the top number. You can just ignore this one. The top number tells us how many counts there are per measure. In this case, there are 4 counts per measure. Now that's important because the time signature tells us what to do with our right hand, and the key signature tells us what to do with our left hand if you play guitar right-handed, the normal way that most people play. And then capo 3 D family. That's what I write at the top of the page in my old hymn book. I write that there with pencil. Now I want to teach you about hybrid picking. So if you're interested in learning more, go ahead and follow along in this video. And if not, you might have already gotten what you needed there with the chords. But I thought this might be helpful to you. The hybrid picking pattern, in this case, this is for 4/4 time. This is a pattern that's used in country guitar. So I have the example of the D chord here. And you'll notice that it's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So there's something there for each beat of the measure and each the and beat, or the half beat of the first beat. So you have 1 and 2 and. So that would be like 8th note time. But you have 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. And you play those notes here on the D chord like that. And you could just just use your pick on all these, or a finger, whatever, and try that. This is tabulature, so it's 0. That's 0 to your capo, open D string, open 4th string. 2, we're on the D chord, just hold the D chord down. And that's a very common pattern in country music. Now that's just regular picking. That's not hybrid picking yet, but that's the pattern for it. Now, up here I have 2 more examples. This is the pattern for the G chord. So because it's the G chord, you have your bass note on the lowest string, on the 6th string, or the E string, on the 3rd fret up from the capo. You're going to hit that with your pick. Now I have P here, that stands for pick, for plectrum, or you could use your thumb, but I don't recommend you do that. For hybrid picking, it's a combination of using your pick and a finger or 2. So P is pick, M is middle finger. So we're going to play through this. Pick, pick, middle, pick, middle, pick, middle, pick. So pick, pick, middle, pick, middle, pick, middle, pick. That sounds like. And the note, the first one, I'm emphasizing that. I'm playing it a little bit stronger than the others. And I'm playing these a little bit quieter, kind of emphasizing that one there. So with 4/4 time, you want to do that. You want to emphasize the first beat of the measure and the 3rd. Now here on the A chord, here's an example of that. This time, your first note, the bass note, starts on the 5th string because it's an A chord. So that's the open 5th string. 4 counts per measure. Now the interesting thing about this pattern is you can play it with 4/4 time by having those 4 counts in there, the 4s and the ands. So you can also use it for 3/4 time. So to do that, you would just have to take out 1 count. So you'd have to use a 3 count pattern, and it's the same thing. Let's just say I'll put it back up here on this A chord. That's a 1 and 2 and 3 and I would just not play these right here, these last 2. So 1 and 2 and 3 and. With the G chord, 1 and 2 and 3 and I would not play the last count or the last beat of the measure. I would take those out. So for example, if I did Amazing Grace, that's 3/4 time. So you need 3 counts per measure. Like that. 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and well, I'd have to take the capo off. Let me just do that since I already mentioned it. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. So I'm just cutting off that last beat of the measure. I'll try to do a song next time with 3/4 time and hybrid picking, so you can look for that. Now, if you would like to do a strum pattern, I have this over here, and what I recommend is playing the first beat of the measure with just a down strum, like just down, and then coming in on the second count of the measure with a down up, third count down up, fourth down up. So it's like down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up. So you're just not doing the up on the first beat. And I would emphasize the first beat, one friend we have in Jesus. And I would emphasize the fourth beat. So in practicing this, I automatically want to do a strumming pattern that you're probably familiar with, the down, down, up, down, down, up, down, up. It's a rock strum pattern, or it's used in pop music as well, and it does lend itself well to a lot of uses and a lot of songs. However, in this one, it doesn't provide the right feel, and not for the meter of the song. And you want something that's a little bit more like just down, up most of the time. But in order to get the emphasis, say like on the first measure, if you are familiar with music, if you're looking at what a friend we have in Jesus, what is a dotted quarter note, and then A is an eighth note. So you have a what a friend we have in, and so because you have that longer first note of the melody, I think just having it just strum on that first count. What a friend we have in Jesus, all our sins and griefs to bear. So I'm going to do that strumming pattern one more time just to let you follow along. If you'd grab a D chord and strum with me, I'll strum a little bit slower, about 1, 2, and 3, and 4. That. Let's do that, and we'll go from D to G to A and back to D. Okay? 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 2. And let's go to G. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2, A chord. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2, and 3, and 4, So just something for you to think about as you're putting together your arrangement. If you're playing along with a piano player, you just kind of try to feel the way that the piano player is playing and follow that. So I think there's a few extra things I was doing in there. I don't know that I want to continue with adding any more to this instructional video, but I was adding, maybe I'll tell you a couple things. You're probably familiar with D chord, and when you put your pinky down, D sus4. I was doing that, so like in the introduction. Something like that I did for the introduction. That's a D, sus4, and then back to D. With the A, I did a sus as well, or suspended. I did you put your pinky down on the 3rd fret up from the capo. You might play your A chord like this, like that. But in order to play this pattern, you're going to have to either play it like this or like that, so you can have the string open. And then I did some other things, and I did an inversion. I was thinking of having a video on some of those things in the future. So I want to tell you thank you for subscribing, and I wanted to tell you thank you for your comments. You're very kind, and if you are interested in me doing a video on one thing or another, please let me know in the comments. Thank you.